Alright, welcome back. My name is Ethan. Today is March 22, I think. So anyhow, we're going to be starting on night chores now. So this morning we had 2 cows calve. One of them had a heifer calf, one of them had a bull calf. So I'll show you guys that. Alright, so first I figured I'd show you the mothers. This one's the mom who had the heifer calf. That's the mom who had the bull calf. So I think this cow's entering her 3rd or 4th lactation. I'm not actually sure, but she'll be a good milking cow. The other one, Myra is her name. She'll be entering her 2nd lactation. She had the bull calf, or a bull calf. Alright, so there's a load of manure to spread. Since it's Wednesday night, we have someone come to help milk cows, a neighbor. That way my dad can clean heifer barn, I can feed, and we can all get done at a decent time. Decent time meaning before 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna go spread this load of manure on one of our fields because all the snow melted. This is nice because then instead of piling manure, we can go to start spreading it on fields again. Alright, so we finished spreading the load of manure. We're mixing our 2nd load of feed for the night now. We've currently got corn silage going in, getting mixed together to make GMR. So once I'm done feeding, I got a broken water line fixed inside the dairy barn. Just a quick fix, so I'll get that done. And then I'm going to do one of 2 things, or maybe both, but I get rid. So I'm either going to move more heifers, or I'm going to oil change the 7420 that's taking the stuff all 4 apart. Maybe the injectors to get down on it and then add back together. Yeah. The other thing is, though, if I move heifers, I got 3 meat calves from the robotic calf feeder that need to get moved to different pens to make more room. So I want to get back up. Fresh. Alright, so it's kind of dark, but we're in this up. Now we're going to oil change the 7420. There's our oil filter. We got one of our engine oil pails there, and then our 2 pails that we're going to drain the engine oil into. So this is what we're going to be working on. We also got to fill with oil and whatnot, and it's going to be a little bit tricky because fill cap's there, but this tractor's all taken apart still for injectors. And of course the cab, it's been apart for a week now. There's a YouTube video on that if you haven't seen that. Just yesterday actually, yeah, I still got the package in my pocket. We had to get special part order. Couldn't figure out what the relays were that are inside here that kept blowing, so I found that, tracked that down, so we're getting them. But yeah, we're gonna do an oil change on this thing and hopefully we can make do, even though there's all this stuff blocking everything. On another note, today our bags of alfalfa seed came today. This is the company we use, Quality Seeds. We've tried them all over the years. This is what we've had the best luck with on our land. Then I showed it in another video, I guess last week, Tuesday. The corn seed came, but yeah. That's all the alfalfa we'll need to seed down our fields. So we will still have to, there's quite a bit of that we'll have to pick it up. A whole skid of oats and peas, Ford's oats and peas specifically, we'll have to pick that up at some point. Is there anything, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to get yet. Don't think there is because our soybeans just come in with our custom planter guy. He looks after all that. We don't do any planting ourselves. We just get someone to come in and do it because the guys that plant our corn can come in and get the 25 acres done in 2 hours, and the guy who plants our seed, well, takes him a little bit longer because he's just another dairy farmer friend, but Saves us a lot of time. Anyhow, I'm gonna take the lids off these two pails and then drain the engine oil into them. Alright, so I've gotten the lids off both of these pails. I've gotten the drain plug slightly loosened. The drain plug is what's on the other side of that drive shaft. The drain plug is right under there. You can, oh, maybe you can't see, but anyhow, the drain plug is right under there. Well, yeah, it's hard to see because that drive shaft's in the way, but drain plug's there. I'm gonna set you guys up here and start draining it out. Well, we're gonna grab our first pail. Tractor does take 2 pails, not 2 full pails, but just enough oil is in here for 2 pails. Now, generally I like to drain the oil out of these things hot after the tractor has been running for a little while, but since the injectors are out of it, that's not really an option. Add it loose. There we go. Just take our socket off and use that for a little bit more. Okay. Now, not get oil everywhere or drop the drain plug in the pail. Should be lined up good enough to get the oil to go in the pail. Well, the oil's draining. I'm gonna put the drain plug right here on this feed bag, and then I'm gonna shimmy over. Maybe I should have brought an oil rag, but since this thing takes 2 pails, once the first pail is full, gotta start filling the second pail. Maybe you guys can see the lines right about here on the pail. Takes a while for it to fill, but yeah, not really too much to say other than this is our only tractor that takes 2 pails of oil. It's definitely the hardest one to oil change. We always put in John Deere engine oil when we change them. Is it better? I don't know, but just what we've done, because back when we bought this one new, the warranty was only covered if you used John Deere engine oil and John Deere hydraulic oil. So we've since then switched away. See, this pail's getting full, from John Deere hydraulic oil to these. You see, it's called Monarch oil pails. I think $20 a pail cheaper, so $100 versus $120 on a pail is a difference, and it all adds up. There, I just switched pails. First pail wasn't completely full, but if I'm gonna need 2 pails anyway, I might as well have 1 1/4 pails instead of 1 full pail and 1 fairly full. Although I think it might be 1 1/2, but starting to slow down. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna wipe my hands down before I put oil all over everything. Get in trouble. Last time I did an oil change in here, I got in trouble for putting oil on the floor. Alright, so we grabbed our oil filter wrench. It's actually a case oil filter wrench for a John Deere tractor. So we're now gonna go and we're gonna take off this oil filter. I'm gonna need 2 hands for it because these, I think their coolant lines are in the way. Alright, so we had to take a quick break. I had to help Dad. Indy is here now because let the dog in the shop when I was doing it. So I got the oil filter wrench on and we're gonna take the filter off now. Pretty much loose enough to do without the wrench now. So, yeah, we're gonna take the filter off and then we can start putting the new stuff on Anyhow, I'm gonna use 2 hands now. Oh, alright, so I had a bin down there, all the oil ran into there, and I got the filter off with spilling minimal oil, so that's nice. Now we got our box of filters here. I know it's the RE, whatever the number is, 504836. I think that's what it is. Yep. Couldn't really read it because I was watching through the camera lens, but we got one of these. We're gonna put it on. The reason why we have 3 of them being is this tractor and the 6430 run off of the same engine oil filter. So that's why we have 3, because in a year we're gonna probably oil change both of them tractors, between both of them 3 times. So yeah, anyhow, on this one, well, it tells you to do it on all the oil filters. It tells you to pre-fill it with oil. Curious if there are any other farmers in the comments, do any of you guys actually pre-fill them? I like to. Not sure if I'm gonna today. I might do it today, we'll see. And the other thing is, this one doesn't have a rubber gasket, but some people put a ring of oil right around this metal part, or where the rubber gasket is. Here, right here, they'll do that too. They'll put a ring of oil around it. Be curious if you guys do that as well. But yeah, I did notice, I watched the clips back when I was laying on the ground, my eyes were they looked almost inflamed. The inflamed look, whatever it's called, there's a technical term for it, doesn't matter. But that's just from the light, because I had this light shining on me and whatnot. But we will get this done. I'm gonna start putting everything back together. The oil's almost done dripping, so I can put the drain plug back in, and then we'll be good. Alright, so I've gotten this oil filter filled with oil. It was full to the top, but it drains down in. I'm gonna put it on, then we'll be good. Well, I already put the drain plug in, so then we'll be good to add more oil. Alright, so I've put everything back together. I've got the oil in. Here's the dipstick. I have already dipped it in and pulled it out. We got too much. When I say too much, I mean quite a bit too much. But I did this. Well, I put in exactly a pail and a touch. Well, a pail and a touch, like there's this much left in the other pail. I put that in, and if you look, that pail's pretty full, and that pail's got maybe about that much oil in it. So I put about as much oil in as what came out. But the turbo's currently off the tractor, and the oil filter currently isn't full, so after we start it up, it's gonna, well, it's not gonna drain it, but the oil's gonna move through everything. So it's gonna have almost too much oil for the first little bit. Well, it will have too much for the first bit, but then it's gonna circulate through the tractor. So I wish I could turn the key to see how many hours it's got, but unfortunately this thing doesn't tell you. You actually got to start it, so I can't do that. I know it's got around 5,000 hours on it, so I will write that down somewhere, and then once we actually get everything back together, which hopefully will happen in the next few days, but who knows. Just last night I was still helping our mechanic to get parts going for it, so it'll get back together when it gets back together. But actually hopefully that gets done a little bit sooner rather than later, because you can see Indy's sleeping down there, because the C-range gear on our 6430 when I was spreading manure tonight crapped out. So if I put it in C gear and put the tractor in forwards, it doesn't move. So I'm hoping it doesn't need a transmission rebuild. I'm just hoping that we will need to do something mechanically inside the canopy of it, because right here on that tractor there's a whole bunch of just metal things, metal bars. Since it's an open station tractor, it gets to see a lot of, you know, rain, because if you're using it while it rains, the rain gets in there. So that's gonna need to be looked after as well. So I'd like to do that in here for probably only take an afternoon to get it apart, see what's wrong. Then we'll be waiting on parts again. But this is why we have 4 tractors now, because there's never an end to when there's something to be fixed or something breaking. So if we have 4, we can live with 3. Well, we used to live with 2 when one broke, but that didn't really work so well when it would always break during haylage. So with that, it's going to be the end of the video, I think, unless something crazy happens. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it or have any questions, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe. Anyway, have a good night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. It's the great thing about YouTube, you can watch it whenever you want. Anyway, God bless, have a good one. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. And yes, don't worry, I won't forget to leave the dog, or I won't forget to let the dog out. And I did, just for the record, other than what Indy's sleeping on, I cleaned up all of the tools for the portion of the job that I was doing at the moment. Obviously, it's still a half-done project, but the oil change is done. Anyway, now it's the actual end.